Walking through the high dry grass, pushing my way through slow. Yellow belly, black snake, sleeping on a red rock, waiting for the stranger to go. Sugar train stops at the crossing, Game Cock is casting below.
Midnight Oil, King of the Mountain, right here on Dan RadioStyle. An awesome band from Australia back in my day, back when I was a young man. Not an old man like I'm becoming. But anyways, how society's awakening. What we see versus what's actually true and some of the things that are actually going on. I know there's a lot of people that are kind of following some of the events in the world, and there is truly a lot of change going on, not just here in America for sure, like us Americans think we are the center of the universe. That being said, there's other parts of the world, believe it or not, that are having all sorts of crazy things going on there. A lot of political turmoil, a lot of rifts, people trying to get out of the European Union, people going bankrupt. I mean, what's going on? So a lot of people kind of look at this stuff and go, oh my God, everything's falling apart. If you kind of think about how quickly life has been evolving. Look, really, 120 years ago, for example, we were cruising around on horses, man. 120 years ago. That's not that far. 120 years ago, we didn't have the phone wasn't even invented yet. Like, really? Like, we were barely sophisticated enough to have movable fire. We'd put it on a stick and move it from here and then light this thing over there. Now we got lighters. Kind of cool if you think about technology-wise. Just saying. Portable fire, very cool. So where we're at today is pretty impressive and very far. We've put people on other planets. Well, people on the moon, technically a body, but needless to say, right? We've sent stuff all over this solar system. Something's technically escaped past Pluto's orbit. We've done some pretty impressive things. We've seen a lot of things. We've really gotten a good bead on where we're at in this little arm of the galaxy where we're at, where our little sun amongst millions of suns exist. So a lot of things have been written over the years. There was many things, some that were written thousands of years ago that people claim have the answers of today because it was written in such an intelligent fashion. Not here to debate all that, just saying it was written thousands of years ago. Nothing is the same, even remotely so. The dirt's probably not even the same. I have a friend that jokes about how he's so old that when he was younger, sand was this big. And what he's implying is sand was still a rock. It hadn't broken down into sand yet. So thousands of years ago, things were very different. Hundreds of years ago, things were very different. We've evolved certainly further than thousands of years ago, right? So the opinions of people, Shakespeare and all these other wonderful, great authors are great. And a lot of these aspects about being a person certainly are very true. But when aspects about society and about the way we work within society, some of the class struggles still exist, yes. And I think that's because the same general rulership has never really changed in the past hundreds of years, right? Same basic rulers, same basic governments. I mean, the United States government's considered one of the newer ones. That might not be true anymore because of other countries, but it was for a while. And we're, 50 years, 1776? Don't make me do the math, but close enough, right? So we've got a number of years under our belt of having the same rulership, and we're wondering, well, it seems similar. We're having the same problems that we had 200 years ago. Well, I would say that part of life maybe hasn't evolved a whole lot. So one thing to keep in mind is what we're attaching our proverbial horses to, right? What cart we're putting on, the horse. I'm not saying people of the past are wrong. It's not that at all. People of the past are very correct, very good stuff. What I'm saying is it needs to be put into context of today. It needs to be considered that things that are happening today, they never dreamed of, with the exception of maybe Leonardo da Vinci and some other very astounding people of their time that were able to really contemplate things way past where they were. I mean, the helicopter, Leonardo da Vinci came up with that design, in the 1400s or whenever the hell he was alive, forever ago, right? This guy figured this thing out a long time ago. It took us a long time to figure out how to make a helicopter and make it fly and not crash. But this guy had it figured out. So when we look at authors, we need to take it into context and put it into the context that it was at the time. Goddard's a great example. I love Goddard, and I think what Goddard talks about is beautiful, and it is extremely helpful in a lot of ways in my life and a lot of the manifesting techniques and certainly a lot of the stuff I try to teach. Goddard has played an amazing role, but he also wrote stuff in the 50s and 60s. The 50s and 60s in the United States, women did as they were told. Women didn't barely have the right to vote. Racism was rampant, way more outwardly anyways. It's more hidden now probably. But again, our country was in a very, very different place than it is today. So we've kind of got to evolve our thoughts, and we've got to understand there's a lot of people out there. I like to throw myself in there, but I don't trust anyone 100%, even myself. Like, I'm constantly changing, and what I believe right now is definitely talk to me in 6 months, and I'll guarantee you there'll be parts of what I'm saying right now. I'll be like, yeah, I'd probably phrase that a little differently. We're going to evolve. We're going to grow. We're going to understand this better and better. As we understand it better, we're also evolving as people. So with that comes that level of change and growth of our understanding. So always be wary, one, of anything that's, quote, 100% correct. I don't think anything is 100% correct. I think some of the best literature out there, some of the best, most accurate stuff, I would put maybe in the 80% range. Like, I don't think there's anything even remotely close to 100%. And conversely, I don't think anything's completely not true. I've read plenty of crazy stuff because I'm curious of the crazy stuff. I know there's a nugget of truth in there. And it truly comes down to that yin and yang or yin and yang, however you want to say it. It's that concept of in every bad, there's a little good, and in every good, there's a little bad. It's that concept. So evolve, grow, learn. Don't ever take anything as 100%. There's a little bit of something in there, trust me, that's either good or bad, depending on which direction you're trying to go with it. Society is awakening. We are awakening. A lot of you guys, especially if you're on my channel, are probably teachers of teachers. You're probably here to help awaken others. You are probably and likely here to help demonstrate an understanding of things before others are ready. Because they've read something 2,000 years ago or 100 years ago or 200 years ago that says what you're talking about is crazy. Now, I've read things that come from even 5,000 years ago. The Egyptians, for example, that we've actually incorporated into a lot of our common monotheistic religions. This same concept exists. Not to mention, it's still, a lot of these same ideologies still exist today. So again, there is something to be said about the past. Like I said, I've got nothing bad to say about it. We've just got to alter our understanding of it relative to the time. Relative to the time, things have changed. So like a lot of us, as we've grown in law of attraction, or as we've started playing with law of attraction, we started seeing coincidences, right? We started seeing little things happen. We're like, oh my God, this is really cool. We started creating little parking places in strange places, maybe green traffic signals. My favorite's the beach ball, right? I created a beach ball, showed up in a gutter, like 2 days later, it was slightly deflated, but it was in the gutter, like on my way to work. I'm like, here's my beach ball. Like, it was in a weird place, which just made it even more awesome, right? So as we evolve ourselves and our understanding, and as we open up to the things that have always been around us, we just never saw it. For those who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, knock, and the door shall be opened. As we've evolved, as we've grown, our understanding of what's true and false has also evolved. And as that's occurred, we've begun to see more and more things around us that we didn't see before. And it's altered and changed us in a very significant fashion, hasn't it? So as the people around us are awakening, and trust me, if anything, trust me, people are waking up. This has been a long process that I've been following very closely for 30 years at least. Trust me that people are waking up. You guys are on the front edge of that, the leading edge, as they say. People that you're worried about, God, I hope they get to it. They will. You're part of that for them. You represent some of that for them. But again, as they awaken, as you have awakened we've seen more and more around us, haven't we? We've noticed more and more around us. And it's kind of a quickening. It's kind of an enhanced speed that things begin to kind of show themselves to us once we take our blinders off. Or even as they keep talking about the red pill and the blue pill. I always forget which one's the good one. I think the blue pill's the one where like you open up to the reality, and I've got it, I think, memorized because red's like stop, so stay where you're at. I don't know if I'm right. I might be backwards on those, but whatever. Red pill, blue pill. Like one of them, like you just stay in la la land, and the other one you like start to waken up to the realities around you. Trust me, people are awakening to the realities around us. Keep being a leader. Keep being what you are right now. Keep doing what you've been doing. Keep evolving yourself. And trust me, the others around you will speed up also. And you are a part of that. You create sort of a vacuum as you evolve up, and it brings people up with you. And that is what a lot of us are here to do. It's to help people grow, help them evolve. And we do it through playing with manifestation, having awesome relationships, falling in love, right? Creating empires, making more money, manifesting whatever it is that we desire. But at the same time, we've still got this other aspect of ourselves that's growing and showing itself. And that's a big part of what this whole journey is all about. Going out with a great song by a band I love from when I was younger. They're called Yaz. And in fact, I believe the lead singer is one of the people that spun off and created Erasure. If you've heard of that band. But anyways, Yaz. Good stuff. Song's called Only You. It's right here on Dan Radio Style.
When I see